Sort of finale, almost nearing up to the World Cup, so I hope the best team wins. And thanks for all of your participation. And the idea behind this was a pilot this year, and hopefully, depending upon how the projects move, we will roll out for the next year. So I hope you had a good time. I would also request you to give your personal feedbacks to Tapan, so that we can improve on the process. And also about our facilities, like you might have felt, okay, maybe this could be done in a better way. Maybe if this equipment could be available. So many of you will go up into MBA careers, many of you will do PhD, masters and all. So we would like this relationship to also continue. So all the best to all the teams, and I'll just request Dr. Chandra to give some sort of a motivation to all the youngsters.
Okay. So good morning. We have had a brief session in the beginning where I had kind of indicated that don't go away from here with just a theoretical one. So I'm hoping that you would have had some experience with some experiments or lab work, plant trials, whatever it is. So I'm sure most of you would have been able to do that. That is something which you should carry from here. We would be very keen to get a feedback from you on how we can improve this. It's good that we have got in, but we may have walked in with a little bit of not the full level of preparedness which we would like. So we would be very happy to do that. If there has been nothing else directly related to the work, you would have seen how an R&D organization such as us work. And as far as research goes, I think we represent in terms of potential one of our best R&Ds in the country, in the manufacturing sector. We have a very young force which you must have interacted with, and they represent a lot of energy and knowledge. We have yet to harness all of that, but I hope you have got a chance to interact with them and get a sense of how we work and what the practical aspects of working in an industrial setup is. I don't know how motivated you feel by all this work. I know some of you have given up, at least a few of you have given up internships at other places to come here. And I hope that at least to them and also to the others, we have been able to live up to your expectations, because you have actually given up on an internship. This is, you are in various years of your graduation. I think some of you are from second year, some in third year, and so on. If you wish to continue some of the work, or even allied work with us, please get back to the concerned mentors you have had, and we will be happy then to engage with you once again. But I think really the occasion is for your presentation and so on, which I will unfortunately miss. But I wish you all the best, and I do hope that when you go back, you will go back that much richer. Thank you.
Thank you. So now, first of all students, so you will give presentation. Each presentation will take 10 minutes. Your presentation will be evaluated by our judges, and the best one or two presentation will be selected and will be awarded. And stick to your time, that is most important. So now we will start with the first presentation. Morning.
Technology Yuki in the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering. As shown, my project is about efficient process for fixing carbon dioxide using slag from the steel plant. And during this project internship of mine, Mr. Mriganshu Guha was my mentor. I would like to start with the principle that I had implemented for my project. The principle is about capturing or sequestration of carbon dioxide by way of mineral carbonation. Now what actually mineral carbonation is, it's a process of capturing minerals mainly in the form of their oxides using carbon dioxide and then producing their respective carbonates. As shown, Mineral carbonation is of two types, direct and indirect. Direct mineral carbonation goes in the way that the mineral is made to react with carbon dioxide directly and their respective carbonate products are formed. Direct mineral carbonation is of two types as shown. One, gas-solid reaction where the gas is directly made to react with the solid in mineral form, and the other in aqueous form. Coming over to indirect mineral carbonation, the process of indirect mineral carbonation goes this way, where the mineral is made to react with an extracting agent or a leaching agent. The main elements of that mineral that are of use to us are made to extract in the form of their respective ions. Those ions are then made to react with carbon dioxide, forming their respective carbonate products. And then these carbonate products, the point to be noted is these carbonate products are stable and hence can be used as, then can be further purified and used as synthetic materials. For example, calcium carbonate can be used as flux in iron making processes. Now, out of the many ways through which indirect mineral carbonation can be executed, we narrow down to two major or most popular ones. One is when we use acetic acid as the leaching agent, and the other is when we use ammonium salts. Coming to the point where I have implemented or applied the concept of indirect mineral carbonation in my project, I had used LD slag as the source of mineral. This LD slag had a majority of calcium oxide, around 47%, as we can see here. And the other oxide that was of use to us was magnesium oxide, which was around 4% in the slag. These two are the major reactions, and the process of indirect mineral carbonation can be subdivided into two major steps. One is dissolution and the other is carbonation. Now this reaction shows the process of dissolution step, where the oxide is made to react with the acetic acid. The acid leaches out calcium ions and forms calcium acetate. This was the dissolution step, and then in the carbonation step, the calcium acetate so produced is reacted with carbon dioxide, forming calcium carbonate. The point to be noted here is that these two reactions are spontaneous. Now the question might arise, why acetic acid? Okay, from literature study, we could confirm that the percent of calcium which is extracted in the dissolution process is maximum if we use acetic acid as the extracting or the leaching agent. Hence, we had used acetic acid. Now, this slide shows the actual plan of work or the plan of experiment that I have performed here. In the dissolution step, as I have already told, 40 gram of LD slag was taken. In a solution of 800 ml of acetic acid, that acid was not pure, not very concentrated, but 20% by volume. At a temperature of 70 degrees Celsius for 2 hours, stirring speed of 600 to 700 rpm. The setup was open to atmosphere. Using a magnetic stirrer and heater, this process went on for 2 hours. Nitrogen was made to bubble. Then after this dissolution process, filtration was done and we could get a residue which had majorly silica gel. Now the presence of silica gel was confirmed with the help of XRD analysis. Then the filtrate so obtained, as I have already told, would contain the major product of the dissolution step, which is calcium acetate. The filtrate also consisted of excess acid and water, which were evaporated using a fume chamber from the bioremediation lab. This filtrate, when when excess acid was evaporated, the solid left out was majorly calcium acetate, and 22 gram of that solid acetate salt was then dissolved in demineralized water, 200 ml of it, for the carbonation step. For this step, we had room temperature, atmospheric pressure, and the process went on for 2 hours, 15 minutes. Now during this carbonation process, carbon dioxide was also bubbled at 1 liter per minute rate. The point to be noted here is that sodium hydroxide, 20 ml of sodium hydroxide, 50% weight was added during this process. The reason for addition of sodium hydroxide is mentioned here, and sodium hydroxide enhances the rate kinetics. We were confirmed of the enhancement of kinetics by sodium hydroxide by performing the experiment firstly without it and then secondly using sodium hydroxide. Then after the carbonation step and further filtration of the carbonation product, we could get a residue which was then dried and using the high temperature furnace. And finally, 11 gram of calcium carbonate was obtained from 40 gram of slag. As a result, we can see here that the process efficiency of the dissolution step where calcium acetate was obtained was 100%. And after the dissolution step, when acetate could be converted into calcium carbonate, the process efficiency was 76%. So we can see that the overall process efficiency is 76%. Now this graph also shows that the amount of sodium hydroxide that we had used for the carbonation step was as calculated by us for around close to 45 gram per liter of the solution. So we can see that the calcium carbonate conversion at this rate of sodium hydroxide is very close to 100%, which is very high. And as I've already told, the calcium acetate that was obtained, the FTIR analysis done of this calcium acetate salt, we could see that the spectra so obtained matched very well with the standard spectra of pure hydrated calcium acetate. So we could conclude after proper calculations that calcium acetate so obtained was 100% pure. Now coming over to the purity of calcium carbonate, the XRD analysis done for the calcium carbonate solid salt so obtained, we could see that it was 100% pure, the peaks were sharp, and the semi-quantitative analysis also showed us that calcium carbonate is 100% pure. So I would like to conclude by saying that after these experiment processes, total 1 ton of LD slag could capture 0.12 tons of carbon dioxide, and side by side we had used 250 kg by using 250 kg of sodium hydroxide and 4000 liter of acetic acid. One point to be noted here is the acetic acid used was in excess, which was, as I have already told, evaporated after the dissolution step. The actual ratio of acid needed in terms of calcium oxide present in the slag was 1:2, but we have used 1:7 to be on the safer side. Also, acid is generated back during the process. As I have already told, the overall degree of carbonation of the entire process was 76%, only within a span of 2 hours at 30 degree or room temperature and atmospheric pressure. The carbonate so produced was of very high purity, and some earlier studies have been done in Tata Steel using the process of direct mineral carbonation, and those studies could lead to a degree of carbonation of 40%, that too after 10 hours and at 50 degrees Celsius. So here we can see that indirect mineral carbonation is definitely much more efficient than direct mineral carbonation. And the next step that we can at least plan to do is, first of all, the reaction in kinetics have to be enhanced by changing the reaction temperature, pressure and pH. Because we didn't have the facility for an autoclave, we couldn't test the pressure effects, high pressure effects on reaction kinetics. Then secondly, instead of using acetic acid as a leaching agent, there can be a more eco-friendly leachant that can be discovered. We had used pure carbon dioxide, so instead of using that, we can use actual flue gas, and from that we can extract, we can directly supply actual flue gas to make it react with the calcium or the metallic ions. Then, as I had already told in the first slide, the other method for executing indirect mineral carbonation is using ammonium salt, so that can be also done in the next step. And also the next step can include using performing the future experiments using the permanent laboratory settings. Thank you.
maximum 2% you can take.
What has led to actual increase in the efficiency? You said that the efficiency has increased from 40%.
Yes, sir.
So what has led to that increase in
So
efficiency?
the efficiency, 40% efficiency is for the direct process. In that process, the mineral was directly made to react with carbon dioxide. The ions were not made to first get extracted and then react. My process included extracting the ions, purifying the mineral in fact, and just discarding the waste so that the purity of the thing getting reacted with carbon dioxide increases and we can get a more pure product. So basically the involvement of acetic acid has led to the increase in efficiency.
But doesn't that have impact on your economic feasibility?
Yes sir, definitely it does. But considering the economy factor, we can see that the time difference also and the temperature and all the other conditions that we used in the experiment were much more economic in case of indirect, because we did not have to use high temperature, nor did we have to use high pressure. And then also in such a less time, within a difference of 8 hours, we could obtain such a high degree of efficiency as compared to direct mineral carbonation. So in both the ways, indirect is way better than direct mineral carbonation.
So no question? Thank you, Manish. So next, clean fluid.
Good morning, all of you. Myself, Shubham Agrawal, with my colleagues Manikanta and Mithun is going to present on the removal of hazardous contaminants from the water by using steel meal waste. First of all, I want to clarify why we are doing that. Because of the hazardous elements present in the water, like fluorine in the form of chlorinated alkanes, arsenic and chromium. As you can see, fluorine in UP and Andhra, Gujarat, there are many regions which is affected by this fluorides. And skeletal chlorosis is the major one which is affected by the fluoride. Next come to fluoride. It is also present in many states of India like Assam, West Bengal. And DDT, as you can see, DDT is the major source for this halide. And throat infection is the major one which is affected by this fluoride. Next come to arsenic, which is major problem nowadays in West Bengal. If we see outside India, it is major problem in Nepal and Bangladesh. So majorly it is affected by the thermal power plants, the sewage drained by thermal power plants. And if its concentration becomes greater than 1 ppm, it works like lethal weapon. Then if it comes to chromium, then in Kanpur it is majorly affected by chromium, and carcinogenic is the one which is affected by the chromium ion. Now I will discuss what we are doing. We have some different study. Means we are using zero valent iron to as a reducing agent. As we can see, it can reduce chromium +6 to +3. It is good absorbent. Means others are either reducing agent only or only absorption. Or means they can do only absorption, but it is reducing agent as well as absorption it can do, and it can dechlorinate hallucinate solvents too. Now there are some conventional methods which are used by earlier researchers. They use the sodium borohydride and hydrazine as a reducing agent, but there are many disadvantages for it. Like they are expensive, they are not non-eco-friendly, and means they are toxic to environment, and their setup is not easy. So because of these disadvantages, we came to use polyphenols as a reducing agent, because it's better reducing agent, I would say. We have used for FeCl3 and FeSO4 using green tea extract. Basically, green tea extract contains 98% of the polyphenols, so we have used it. and we have reduced it to Fe0, means we have reduced it to zero valent ion. But it becomes something expensive. So we have some innovative idea. We have used slags of the meals and HSM meal, and we have used green tea extract to take it to Fe0 state. There are many advantages to use green tea extract, as it is non-toxic, means it is eco-friendly to environment, and it is less expensive, and their setup is too easy. But we have modified method, means we have used slag and HSM to get Fe0. First we use magnetic separation to get iron particles from the slag, and then we use in basic medium it turns to red color PPT, which is FeOH sulfide, a very hot hydroxide. And as we using polyphenols as a reducing agent, it reduces Fe plus 3 to Fe0 state, which is zero valent ion. For HSM, it is dissolved first in aqua-regia medium, then it is taken to basic medium. So it again turns to red PPT of FeOH sulfide. Again it is treated with polyphenols, and it is obtained Fe0 state. And then this is zero valent ion. Their size is approximate 500